We were three panelists tangling the issue of learning and performance from various angles. I had much more a corporate perspective and spoke about the risk of the learning function to get much more irrelevant in the next 2 decades if it doesn't free itself from its legacy of being born and having developed its own identity in the industrial age, and thinking of building foundational knowledge and skills with the workforce, and that will carry them on, and that will, by a pretty clearly defined causal chain, drive performance. Now that causal chain is getting much weaker as we move into the knowledge era, and the learning function needs to find a new identity, a new self-understanding in order to be ongoingly involved in driving performance in the organization and ongoingly being relevant. So there's a certain risk of getting irrelevant. That is also a topic we heard from the other panelists. First of all, in the knowledge era, you cannot just drive productivity and performance by having the workforce master clearly defined work processes. You just training up to perform these in a flawless manner, and that by itself guarantees performance. In the knowledge era, you have certainly the need for strong foundational education, knowledge and skills, but that doesn't suffice anymore to really drive performance. The knowledge worker has a broadly defined workflow, but needs to deviate from that every day, every minute, given responses from clients, from peers, from competitors. There's a lot more discretionary space and much more judgmental calls of the knowledge worker in how to prioritize work, in where to put the accent, and there's so much more degrees of freedom than in an industrial era that the performance depends on many more things than just on the education. It depends on reflection of what's going on currently in the market, in the organization, on learning from failures and successes, and that needs a total different focus of the learning function, not only to build foundational knowledge and skills, but to create an environment of reflection and learning, which is very close of what you are doing currently at work. So it's very much needed to be close to the workplace, and you cannot anymore focus that much on the content. You have to much more focus on the context in which the workers are performing. What certainly is still there is that Online Educa has been founded at a time when technology-based learning, self-directed learning was a radically new idea, and it was a challenging kind of conference. And now, as it's getting more and more mainstream, and e-learning is pretty much a standard integral element of the learning world, it still is a conference which tries to challenge and to rattle. And it has a little bit of kept its revolutionary character, despite the fact that it's got a big conference by now.